Hey, we're going to be talking about ribs today, and this is one that's kind of close to me. This is a Memphis style rib, and that's what I want to share with you today. I'm from a little town called South Haven, right outside of Memphis. That's where we grew up. So I'm real familiar with Memphis ribs and how we do them. There's a couple things that's unique about Memphis style ribs. The first one is that we use loin back ribs. Most rib joints you go in Memphis is going to be serving a loin rib. You'll find them with the membrane on or off. It just depends on the restaurant, but I like to always take them off. These particular ribs that I'm using today are Compart Duroc loin back ribs, and they come skinless. They're already ready, and they have really straight bones, so they're good for competition cooking. They'd be great for a Memphis style rib. The seasoning process is the next thing that's unique about Memphis ribs. A Memphis style rib doesn't have a sauce. It's a dry rib that's cooked low and slow with some good hickory wood and just a paprika based rub. And that's kind of how we started out with our rub, the Killer Hogs rub. Since we're in Memphis, we were a Memphis in May team. We developed a Memphis style rub, and that's what's really done well for us. The unique thing about a Memphis rub is the paprika content, and that's really what gives the meat or the ribs, the shoulder, whatever you're cooking, a really rich red mahogany color, and that's kind of unique to Memphis. To season these ribs in the Memphis style, you don't need a base coat of anything. It's just about getting a good rub on the ribs, letting it sit 4 to 5 hours, and then getting it on some good hickory smoke. So I'm going to start seasoning these. And I don't go real heavy. You just want a good base coat. We want the meat to take on some smoke, but we want to build layers with this rub as we base. And I'm going to show you the mopping sauce that you'll typically find in Memphis. We do both sides, of course. So I'm just getting a good light coat of rub on the outside of these ribs. We're going to let them sit here and sweat while we get our cooker up to temp. You can go as long as overnight, 8 hours, letting this rub sit on here. Typically, I like to give it, 3 to 4 is a good time. You'll want to get them back in the refrigerator, keep them cool, but then bring them back out, let them come to room temp before you put them on your smoker. So now I've got the rub on them. Shake off any excess. So I'm going to let this rub hang out on these ribs for a couple hours, 3 or 4 anyway. And then when we come back, I'm going to show you how we cook this Memphis style dry rib. You'll love it. Okay, I'm out here, got my CTO fired up today. We're going to cook these right about 250 degrees for these Memphis style dry ribs. I took them out of the refrigerator about 30 minutes ago, let them come up to room temp, but you can see they kind of make their own sauce, if you will. It's working on that rub, it's melting it, so they're a little sticky right now, but that's perfect. That's exactly what we want to see. Now I want to get these on the cooker. So I'm going to be cooking these Memphis style dry ribs for about 4.5 to 5 hours, but I want to see some good bone pullback. We're not wrapping these. They're going to stay on the smoker the whole time, using a little bit of hickory wood for some smoke. Charcoal's my fuel base. That's where I'm getting my heat from. So we'll get them closed up here. Okay, we got our Memphis style dry rub ribs on the cooker. I got it set at 250 degrees, and then I've got some hickory wood in there to give it some good smoke flavor. We don't need to mess with it for about 1.5 hours. Whenever they start to look a little dry and then the rub starts to, start changing colors a little bit, that's when we're going to put this mopping sauce on. Fixing to go inside and show you how I make that mopping sauce. Stick around. Okay, while the ribs are smoking outside, I want to show you the mopping sauce that I'm going to use for these Memphis style dry ribs. This is something that's kind of a basic mopping sauce that you'll find them using in Memphis recipes. It's good on any kind of ribs, but it's really great. It brings out the flavor of this dry rub. And I'm using some of the dry rub in it. What I have is 2 cups of apple juice. And to that apple juice, I'm going to add 4 ounces or half a cup of red wine vinegar. I'm also going to add 4 ounces of vegetable oil. If you want to use olive oil, hey, that's fine too. And with that mixture, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of the same rub we're using on the ribs. It's going to keep those same flavors going, and as we mop it on, as they cook, it'll keep them nice and moist, and it'll build this flavor that we're trying to achieve. Now you just want to whisk it up a little bit. The oil and vinegar naturally want to separate some, but that's okay. You can use your mop, kind of stir it together before we put it on, but that's perfect. We'll be ready to mop these ribs. You just really want to mop them whenever you start seeing them get a little dry on the outside. I'll show you out on the grill in just a few minutes, but usually we start about the 1.5 hour mark. So. Okay, it's been about 1.5 hours. We're going to peek at these Memphis style dry ribs and see what they're looking like. Ooh, they smell it good. Look at that. It's time to baste them. Well, they got some good color on them. But you see how they're starting to get dry down the middles? I don't want that to happen because that's where it can start busting. So I want to keep them nice and moist. They're starting to, you know, get that mahogany look. I don't want them to get a whole lot darker than that before I start basting them. So I'm just kind of mix my baste up and we're just going to mop it on, just get some moisture on them. Now we're going to come back and do this about every hour because these ribs don't wrap. This is a no wrap rib. You know, in the restaurants in Memphis, they're not using aluminum foil. This aluminum foil wrapping ribs is kind of a competition thing, but today we're doing more of a traditional style. So we're going to get it closed back up. Let these go another hour. We'll start checking them on the hour and keeping them basted just like that until we get them done. Okay, it's been another hour, so we're going to check on these Memphis style ribs. See how they're looking. Really getting some good color. This is what I'm looking for. But I just want to keep them nice and moist. Push them back in, keep doing the same thing. So we're at the 2.5 hour mark on these Memphis style ribs. And it's going to take them probably another, at least, 1:45, 2 hours before they'll be at the tenderness level I want. Cooking them unwrapped like this. We're going to close it up, maintain the heat. I'm not adding any more wood at this point because after 2.5 hours, it's all the smoke those ribs are going to need. They're starting to get the dark as I want them. So now we just want to keep them moist, keep the baste on them about every hour, and we'll take them and I'll show you the perfect tenderness here in just a little while. Stick around. Okay, we're right about the 4 hour mark on these Memphis style dry ribs, and it's time to start checking them for tenderness because I don't want them to go too long. But if you can pick them up, so they still got a little ways to go. They need to really be bending and about to break when you support them right in the middle. We'll take a look at this side. Usually you can start to see some of the bones kind of split through, so I know I still got a little ways to go. They're starting to get to where I can tear them just a little bit. I try to twist that bone a little, but I want them to go a little bit longer. So we're going to put them on. We're going to give them one more baste, and this will be just about a 30-minute check here. It won't take too much longer. Man, I've got some really good color. Finish these off, you know, we're going to hit them with a little more dry rub when we take them inside, and this Memphis style ribs will be ready. We're going to close these up 30 more minutes. We'll come back out. Let me see if they're time to come off. All right, our Memphis style dry ribs are ready, man. They're just, if I could take them right now, I could just pull them right apart. We're going to take them inside, show you how I finish them up. You can see on the backs how the bones are starting to come through. That's exactly what you want to see on these loin ribs. Let's check these out. Starting to see a little bit of the bone come. And we can take them and start pulling them just like that. They'll come right apart. They're done. Let's get them inside and we'll show you how we finish them. It really makes them a Memphis style rib. All right, we're inside and we're almost finished with this Memphis style dry rib. But really what sets the Memphis style dry rib apart is this last step. And all they do at the restaurant is they go ahead and give it a good shake of that high paprika rub. And we're using that same Killer Hogs rub once again. This is how it would come to your table. If you get a slab of these, I'm telling you, it would be on time. This is my favorite way to eat a rib. I guess it's how I was raised, but the dry style just says something to me more so than that sweet sticky sauce. And those are okay too, but this dry style is where it's at. Let's go ahead and cut one of these slabs, see what these ribs are like. you can see the juice in them. Ooh, look at that. Look at that smoke ring. I don't know if y'all can see that real good on camera, but that's what that hickory wood, that Memphis style is all about. That's a good looking rib. You know I'm gonna have to try one of these. I can't wait. Got that snap, clean bite, but it comes right off the bone. Look at that. Still hot. That's a fine eating rib. If you like what we're doing here on our YouTube channel, please subscribe. Check out all the videos we've got out there. Hey, I'm doing a newsletter this week at howtobarbecueright.com. You can subscribe to it. It's going to be on the Memphis style dry rib versus my Kansas City style, which one I like better. So if you're interested, check that out at howtobarbecueright.com. As always, you know, send us those questions on Facebook and on Twitter. We love the feedback. Thanks for checking out our videos.